And joining us right now, Joe DiGenova, our legal analyst, also former U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. And Joe, all of America was talking all week long about domestic violence. And I think it's a good thing that people are focusing on it and drawing attention to it. But, of course, it was in the context of the NFL and their handling or mishandling of the Ray Rice situation. And don't you know it, over the weekend, a U.S. Senator, Gillibrand from New York, said, you know, if the NFL doesn't police itself, well, then Congress will just have to step in and start looking into their handling of this. Is there really a role for Congress to look into the NFL and what's going on here?
Well, not at the moment. Gillibrand is, usual a Democrat in search of a non-issue. But here's the deal. This situation has now reached critical mass for the commissioner, Mr. Goodell, and the reason is very simple. All the options that are available legal to Ray Rice, the Players Association, and others involve testimony under oath in some sort of legal proceeding, either administrative or in a court. And that means that the NFL security staff, which is composed of former FBI agents for the most part, will have to be put under oath. Those gentlemen and ladies will not lie, and that is not good for Roger Goodell. So,
do you think that there's something that he would rather them lie about? What do you think is?
I don't think there's any question that Commissioner Goodell has not been telling the truth about what he knew. Whether he saw the video or not is irrelevant because he probably knew what was on the video. This notion that he has plausible deniability that a video came to the NFL in April and he never saw it during that entire period of time when he imposed the first punishment on Rice in July, and then they allegedly saw the video, and then there was the new policy which was announced, and then came the second punishment. The series of events that Goodell faces are simply inconsistent with his explanations. And if you know anything about body language, which you guys do, you watch Goodell in these interviews with CBS. I'll get to tell you something. I've cross-examined witnesses on the witness stand. Mr. Goodell is lying. He is lying through his teeth. And if it is proved to the satisfaction of the owners, whatever that would be, he's gone. His performance thus far has been abysmal as a commissioner, and he's not been a commissioner. He's been a CEO. He's been protecting the business, not enforcing discipline. And so I think he's really in a bad place now because Mueller, the former FBI director who has been appointed by the NFL to perform an independent investigation, is not going to be party to a cover-up. So I think all of the options for Roger Goodell at this point are not good.
All right, look, I don't want this to be perceived as being supportive of Ray Rice because I think what Ray Rice did is reprehensible.
This is not about Ray Rice.
Yeah, but
it's about the commissioner.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question. Because Ray Rice is covered under a bargaining agreement.
Right.
Many people look at the situation and say, look, they handled the issue, there was an adjudication of the matter, and then they came back and changed the punishment, and that's double jeopardy, and you can't do that, and that's against the bargaining agreement. I mean, could Ray Rice be reinstated so that he could again play in the NFL sometime soon?
Absolutely, because in the collective bargaining agreement between the NFL and the players, there's something called Article 46, which is a so-called no double punishment clause, which is the double jeopardy clause in the players' agreement. And it says you cannot punish a player twice for the same conduct. The notion that there was some sort of new evidence that changed the first punishment, that is the video allegedly showing up out of nowhere, is nonsense. I think Rice has a very good argument, and he could very likely be instated by someone who conducts the hearing under the players' agreement. That there will be negotiations first, but none of that is going to happen. Actually, he could file that immediately. He could also file a grievance with the National Labor Relations Board. I think going to court is a non-starter for him because all of these administrative remedies take precedence over that.
So you think the National Labor Relations Board may be his final appeal?
Yeah, he could file an unfair labor practice with the National Labor Relations Board, and this really smacks of it.
Yeah, the other question, of course, would anybody then want to pick him up because he's been released by the Ravens? Would anybody want to take a chance on the guy?
Well, you just don't know at this point. That's kind of irrelevant. This is all about Goodell now. That's why I'm saying Rice is great. It's an interesting story. He can file grievances. Right now, this story is about the commissioner of the National Football League and whether or not he stays or goes. And under the current set of facts, It is clear that the commissioner has lied, and he cannot stay.
Joe DiGenova, I want to play a little audio for you and get your reaction. And to all you parents taking your kids to school right now, I apologize if you find this disturbing for young children. This happened in Iowa over the weekend.
Hello, Iowa! I'm back!
Joe?
Hillary's back, all right. God bless her. She's like the Energizer Bunny. Oops, I'm sorry. She's not the Energizer Bunny. That's the other woman.
Oh!
The bottom line is, Hillary is Hillary. Sorry, guys. I just couldn't resist.
That was good.
Thank you very much. That's why I get such high pay for the station. I'm sorry. Hillary's back. She's a candidate. She's going to be running. And Benghazi will not go away for her, no matter what she thinks. And this is all the prettiness that comes before the real battle. Just like in 2007, when she was the shoo-in, she was going to be the nominee, and along came this neophyte from Chicago, who has remained a neophyte from Chicago and not grown in the job. She was defeated. She is a brittle candidate. She has no sense whatsoever of politics. The inevitable candidate was not inevitable in 2008, and she may seem to be inevitable now, but tomorrow is another day.
Yeah, I mean, she really is going in sort of damaged. On so many different levels. I mean,
after that spectacular book tour.
Well,
right.
But you look at the world as it is today, and you have to look back and say, well, who was the Secretary of State when all of this stuff was going to hell in a handbasket?
Right.
And it's Hillary Clinton.
It's amazing. The mainstream media during this process is going to do everything it can to forget that she was responsible for United States foreign policy for 4 years, in which this country became disgraced, dishonored, and disregarded by almost every country in the world. We are feared by no one. We are despised. Our allies are just cannot stand us. I mean, this is her. This is what she did. And it's really fascinating.
It's her legacy.
When you talk to Democratic women about her, they swoon. They think she's the greatest thing that ever happened to foreign policy. These people are delusional. That's the best thing we've got going for us, is that they don't understand that the reason they're going to lose the Senate is because the American people are fed up with lying and deception, which is what this administration has been about from day one, lying and deception.
I'm back!
Thanks, Joe DiGenova. Always good to have you.
Thanks, Joe.
And by the
Thank you for that beautiful moment.